Building Standards Commission. I now call this meeting to order. The time is 6:04. We will start tonight with a roll call of all members present. As your name is called, please respond with a notification of present. Casey Smith.
Present.
Greg Viajos.
Present.
Kenny Cole.
Present.
Bruce Ackerley. Doe Kemp. I'm Michelle Anderson, and I guess I'm present, so we'll go with that. We're going to start off with item 2, the work session with training conducted by Bob Hager, our beloved city attorney.
Well, thank you. Members of the board, this is a little bit different, although many of you serve, or all of you do serve on the Board of Adjustment. Tonight we're going to convene as the Building Standards Commission. And your job tonight, unlike your job when you do the Board of Adjustment, is to make a determination of whether the structures that are on the agenda tonight are substandard and what kind of remedy. The staff's going to ask for a remedy at the end of this. And so what you would have to look at or do the facts. Is there a preponderance of the evidence, if you will, that there's sufficient facts as presented by staff to justify declaring the property substandard, and what is the remedy they're going to ask for you to administer to do that. And what we mean by that is what's relevant here is the condition of the house or the condition of the structure, and does that tantamount to being violations of the maintenance code, and what the effect of those violations are based on their expertise. Steve will be presenting the cases along with Desiree, who is our code enforcement officer. And they're going to basically talk to you tonight about what the condition of these structures are, what they believe the problems are of the structures if they're not repaired or brought into compliance. And then they'll ask at the end of their presentations for you to issue an order generally declaring it substandard based on the violations that they present to you and the facts they present to you. We would assume that the property owner will either contest those facts or contest the application of the ordinance, the maintenance code, to those facts and ask you not to declare the building substandard. Generally, in these kinds of cases, you will find that there's usually a long history of code enforcement issues or building permitting issues, where a structure is beginning to be built, it's never completed. We have a famous case, if many of you have been around here for a few years, on Sandy Lake Road. Barney Barnett owned a house that was under construction for about 10 to 15 years, where he was converting an old house into a larger house, and so there was a steel superstructure that was attached to his old house and remained in that state for forever. And so we finally went through this process and got it removed because he couldn't finish it. All of the materials had been exposed and it wasn't any longer safe. And so that's kind of what the issues are with these kinds of cases. Are it's either buildings that do exist that have not been properly maintained, or buildings under construction that have not been finished under the permit that was issued. So those will be kind of the Q&A that you do. If there's a presentation, if the chair, I don't know, generally what they will answer questions at the end of their presentation. And then you have the ability to ask questions of the staff, you have the ability to ask questions. We'll swear the witnesses in, like we do for BOA, because we want evidence. I want you to stay with evidence, not opinions of laypersons. A couple of these neighbors of the unfinished house have indicated, I know they're present, because they're out there now, so they're interested. I don't know if they'll want to speak or not, but if they want to stand up and take a look. Unless one of them is a structural engineer or a building official in another city, they're gonna tell you probably that it's a blight, they have to look at it every day. That doesn't make it substantial. May make it in violation of the code, but it doesn't make it substantial.
Can I ask the names of the people that are?
I don't know.
Are you on the
You mean
board?
the names of the people whose properties it is?
Yes.
It's in the,
Bruce Acker.
I
Bruce.
saw, I think I represent one of their,
Yeah.
one of the homeowners, so I may have.
Sybil.
Bruce, if you want to sit at the table, you take
Well, I
my,
just want to make sure I don't.
take my chair.
No,
No,
conflict of interest represents.
No, he's on the board.
Yeah, no, I know, but what do you mean represent?
one is Sybil Watkins, I think,
Wilkes.
Wilkes.
Wilkes, Miss Wilkes
And
owns
David.
the house,
Vincent,
And then
and Benitez.
there's also a
Benitez.
Do you represent one of them?
Does the, in the last
I don't
paragraph,
recognize their names. Oh, is this a creek improvement?
No.
No, no.
Okay.
One is a residential structure under construction on Arborbrook. The other one is a rental,
Okay.
personal
Sounds like I
property
may be okay.
on
I
Park
just saw my
Meadows.
clients out there and I thought, they said they were here to observe and I was like, okay,
They may be neighbors of either property.
they may be, you know, but that's good. Okay.
Okay.
Is he gonna sit? It may be a problem for his law license if he were to sit on a board and his clients testify.
Well, that's what he's
That's why-
saying. His clients are maybe the neighbors, not the people
but if
that
they
are.
stand up.
They
to-
can testify.
They can testify.
They can testify, I don't
Yeah,
really care.
He's got, well,
I just want to make sure that they don't,
but
I can't-
but you may, how can I say this? You may find them to be otherwise more credible because you're their lawyer.
yeah.
Than you normally might if you were independent. And so I don't want to put you in that position to make that ethical choice. Yeah.
So he's an alternate anyway.
Yeah, do we have a quorum otherwise? Do I even have to be here, do you think?
We have a quorum otherwise, we have five,
Four.
we have four. He's not on yet.
I'd hate to, I don't see their names on here, so I don't know. Do they have to list their witnesses if they're gonna call, or people that are gonna testify have to be listed, right?
No.
No, okay.
They can stand up and get sworn in.
They're probably just watching because they have a neighborhood, they're in the neighborhood or something.
Look, let's do this, if you want to sit and listen to the other case, that's fine, but to the extent that they testify, in this case, you should recuse yourself.
Yeah.
I don't want to do anything to jeopardize the decision,
He could recuse himself from voting, right?
yes, or recuse himself from the hearing on this case.
But we don't know
It
which
doesn't have
case.
anything to do with it.
Well, I know. what
I mean, we're making
I
an
know.
assumption, but yeah.
Since they don't have to be listed ahead of time, if they do appear as witnesses, then at that point, he's gonna have to make a choice. But if they don't testify, then it's not a problem.
Yeah, just abstain if that happens.
Well, the inference is if he participates in the conversation, he may influence you and then influences everybody. And
Right.
now I have a problem. So I wanna make sure this sticks. And I don't need any issues if it goes to court.
Are there, not having done one of these with the witnesses actually here on one of these, is there potential somebody that disagrees with the condemnation, like with our staff ruling?
No matter what, property owners
I
will.
don't know, that's why we're gonna have the hearing.
Making sure, I didn't know if this was an understood deal, and they're like, that,
No, I mean,
the others are for it,
I
you
mean,
know, okay.
I will say this, by the time we bring a case to you, it's gotten to the point where it's not just a code issue, okay?
Whether somebody is testifying for or against whatever the decision is, if they're his client, then it's a possibility of being perceived as being biased towards.
No, I was just asking in general, not for Bruce.
But yeah, there's no telling. I've had people that didn't even live in that neighborhood that showed up to testify on projects simply because it affected them as they drove past it on their way to work.
Yeah, I see it every day. Okay.
Okay,
All right.
I don't see their names.
Their names are not in there because they're not owners of the property, but they live in close proximity, so they announce themselves as potentially opponents to the property owner.
Okay. They definitely were.
Yes.
if I remember this
Yes.
particular,
If I
I
remember-
recognize
If I remember
some of
them
the
correctly.
pictures too.
Yeah.
I'm kind of wondering, my question would be, if we have enough members here, you know, I would probably, I wouldn't even want to get it to the witness stage and have to even,
Cross that bridge.
yeah, because I don't want anybody to suggest that we, you know, in our discussions even, that I've had some sort of.
I understand, I'm
This,
fine
this
with it.
particular, this right here is not a private, is this a private?
No, it's
closed?
public meeting.
Yeah, so that, I just want to make sure you don't have a need for the alternate,
I got you, I
Yeah.
understand, I understand your participation.
so I'll probably just
Okay,
go.
where are we now?
You wanna go out there?
No,
Or you
I-
wanna
no,
move on
I-
the agenda with?
just, well, I mean, I'm fielding questions, I'm gonna make sure that everybody understands what kind of the role is, what the presentation is, how we're gonna proceed tonight, either staff or anybody else.
Good.
Okay?
So my question, I have a question. In this, the script does not, I don't know how to do it with my pen. The script does not include what I have people swear, the witnesses swearing in. Do I say you swear to tell the truth?
The whole truth and nothing but the truth. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? United States, so help me God, the Supreme Court says you don't have to say it.
Yeah, I probably won't say that. You don't need to bring God into that.
Yeah.
He's got other things to handle.
Yeah.
How are you?
Okay, how are you?
Good.
Yeah, I saw your name on the list. What's it going on?
How's your family?
Doing all right. All of Dana's family's coming to the house tonight, so 8 extra people in my
So
house.
you can recess, and my only thing about starting now is I want to make sure both the applicants are here. Both the applicants are here, it's fine, but since it's kind of in first, maybe 7 o'clock, just because we usually take a half hour.
You still got the, discuss the 2023 appointment timeline and attendance policy, and then into the work session with my stuff.
Yeah. Okay, I'm done. I'll answer any questions, I'll be available during the entirety of the proceedings.
Is it possible for us, I mean, I think we've done this in the past, to retire back here to have confidential discussions? Does it all have to be public?
This has to be public. There isn't a provision in the statute. There is for Board of Adjustment, not for this board.
Yes, we've done it with Board of Adjustments, but not.
Do
Okay.
we have any work for Board of Adjustment tonight?
No.
Okay, making sure.
No variances, no special exceptions, and no interpretation of the building
Good deal.
code.
So how are we gonna do number 4, election of officers?
So, just like the script says, I'll probably nominate Mark as the chairman.
That's what he gets for not being here.
That's what he gets for not being here, exactly.
I was just making sure, don't nominate me.
You don't want to be nominated? Are you sure?
Yes.
What's wrong? It's fun. What's that? Yes, it is. Okay. All right, and then if anybody wants to nominate me as vice chairman, I'm completely open to it, because I love it. Okay. It's okay. Okay.
You can open the floor for nominations. You can nominate someone. You don't need a second. All you need to do is vote.
So I don't need the second, okay.
Nope. If you nominate Mark as chairman, and you can say, is there any other nominations? And if there's silence, then vote on the nominee.
Okay. Is there anything else?
So we're nominating Mark, right?
Yes.
Nominated, not elected. So is there any other nominations?
Mhm.
There not being any, you have to now take a vote on Mark. So all those in favor of Mark, say aye.
Aye.
I think he vote. All those against? None. Mark's it, so Mark's the chairman.
Motion carries, Mark is
Motion
chairman.
carries, very good. Chair, vice chair has got it down. So now you need to open the floor for nominations for
Vice chairman, yes.
I nominate Michelle Anderson for vice chair.
Any other nominations? Hearing none? Who's in favor? All those in favor say yay.
Yay.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. All right, motion carries. Michelle Anderson's vice chairman.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Lee
I'm glad they
Breeze.
accept.
Lee Breeze for another year.
I'd like to thank the community.
Who's supposed to do the attendance policy? Gary can do it. You doing the attendance policy?
Oh, I am?
That was in your thing?
Well, there was a thing about, you know, showing up to make sure you're
Yeah, from a year ago.
absent and all that kind of thing that
Don't
may
miss, what
affect
is it?
your ability.
Don't miss
to
3 in a row or 2 in a row, or what is it?
3 in a row.
3.
The thing is with these two boards, you know, we don't have regular meetings, right? So they just, all of a sudden, they just pop up randomly. So you already may have a vacation planned, or you may have COVID, maybe even long COVID. So you may not be able to attend, and you may eventually, then with enough of those coincidences, run afoul of it. So it still applies, right?
Yeah, technically it does. Now, part of the issue was they wanted to force the council to have to deal with it. If people had an excuse or
Yeah.
a reasonable excuse, you know, the dog ate my homework, probably not gonna work, but, you know, that I was out, I was ill, my wife's sick, my husband's sick, and my daughter was sick, so,
Yeah.
they just wanted some mechanism to at least visit that, to make sure all the people they were appointing were participating and wanted to continue to participate so we could meet. Because if we can't meet, then that becomes a problem both for the applicant and for the staff, especially with this board. So, we've never had a problem that I know of.
Well, in July of 2022, a message was sent out. Last night, City Council approved a new attendance policy for all boards and commission members that goes into effect immediately. Please read below. Policy requires board members to give advance notice to the chair and staff liaison if they will be absent from a regular or special called meeting for the absence to be designated excused. If advance notice of absence is not given, the absence will be designated unexcused. We will need your help in gathering the communications that are provided to us. If a board member is absent for 3 regular or special called meetings, or if a board member is absent for 25% of the regular or special called meetings within a 12-month period, excused or unexcused, the position will be considered to be reviewed by the City Council, and the City Council may declare that position vacant.
Right, and I think that's when they would take into consideration if it's excused.
Yeah, it actually, we've had one, and there was a reason, and yada yada, and they met about it.
So it's not 3.
Left them.
It's not 3 in a row anymore. It's just
It's just
12 months.
25%. Yeah, because
12
there was,
months. Yeah.
they had an incident where they were there, and then they were gone for 2, and then they'd show up. So it got to be where because a lot of the boards don't have alternates, so it becomes more critical. These boards have alternates because the statute allows it, so we follow the state statute in that regard, so. And the reason there's alternates is for this very reason, because the nature of what you do in the votes. The vote for tonight is a simple majority, it's not a super majority like it is for a variance. So 3 out of 5, in this case, 3 out of 4s.
And of course, none of this ever occurs on a normal schedule. It's, you know, out of the blue, all of a sudden you've got a case that comes up, may not have met for a year or 2.
This board only meets as necessary.
Well, in this case, they haven't met in 3 years, so.
Yeah, they weren't necessary.
And it also,
necessary tonight.
it also becomes a super majority as a 3 out of 4 instead of a 3 out of 5, I guess.
Yeah, well, you have to have 4 affirmative votes, so if there's 4 out of 5, it has to be unanimous. It has to have 4 affirmative votes to grant a variance. This is merely a majority of the quorum.
Oh, I was just saying, but if we have one stepping back, are we only going 4 or are we going to have 5
It won't make a difference.
on the voting? So if there's 4 of us voting,
Just the majority.
but if you have 2,
doesn't pass.
Right, so that makes it a super majority, though, I'm saying 3 or 4 to pass.
But I
in this
can't
case.
have, I can't have a vote where I've got a conflict of interest.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right.
Just
If it's an issue, we may continue the case.
Does who breaks the tiebreaker?
There isn't a tiebreaker tonight. Usually
It's an Indian leg wrestle, yeah.
but I think it's headed that way. We may do something else.
So we can go through
Just depends on
the packets.
I prefer not do that. I mean, you can give them an overview of what the cases are. I kind of did that already.
Well,
I
and,
don't want to pollute the decision.
yeah, no, I've got the
I mean,
PowerPoint.
the nature of the cases are, we have a house that's in a state of disrepair. It has not been met satisfaction of the code enforcement. It's gotten to the point where it may or may not be substandard. Code enforcement wanted to bring it to this committee to make a review of the status of the house. You have another case that is a building that was started as a residential structure. It is not complete, has remained in state of uncompleteness for a number of weeks and months. And they were not proceeding even though Mr. Schubert, as our building official, was fussing at them. So that's coming before you because it's a structure that has been exposed to the elements for a number of weeks and months to the point where it needs to either be finished in accordance with the code and the permit or needs to be torn down. So those are the two issues you have really to consider tonight.
All right, we've got PowerPoint presentations for both. As Bob and I have both said previously, I can share facts. And anything that would be an opinion, I can't provide an opinion. I can only provide facts. This happened on this date, or this code requires this, that's it.
You can say whether or not it meets code, because
Yep.
that's your job. So,
Yep.
to that extent. And what the building permit requires, is it in the status in accordance with, is the permit on this expired or unexpired?
Oh, it's expired.
There's probably a potential witness over there.
Just an interested citizen
Yeah, right.
who lives in the neighborhood.
Yep. Just another good American.
And while we're here, if you guys got any plumbing questions, electrical questions, I can answer those. I've had a whole slew of my friends hit me up with plumbing questions here lately, so, you know,
If
I'm
I have a
all for
hot
those.
water heater go out in my attic, how much should that cost to replace?
Everybody does flat rate pricing now,
Yeah.
so depending on the size of
I
the
go
water heater and whether or not they gotta take the ladder down,
Yeah, $50,
price starts at about $3.
right? And then if the other one went out downstairs 2 days later, say.
Oh, they're just charging another
This is
$2
my
for that
Christmas
one.
right now.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Oh, yeah, that's when you go out, appliances break
Back
at
to back.
Christmas. You have refrigerators, microwaves, ovens, hot water heaters, things that you really have to have.
Oh, wait.
Your family's
One
coming.
of our team members, her husband may have appendicitis.
Gosh.
Merry Christmas.
They can take those out in his office.
I offer the
Bring them over
garage.
here, I've
YouTube.
got to take that out, yeah.
YouTube it.
Yeah. They do that arthroscopically now.
Don't
Butch
worry.
McCarthy
I got
had
the
his
scope.
out.
I mean,
Had
Coach
his out.
McCarthy had his on Wednesday.
On a
he's coaching
Wednesday.
on Sunday.
There you go.
Yeah,
Tell him to have it out now before Christmas gets here.
Yeah, but the first question is always, what's your deductible?
We should wait 1.5 weeks and start it on the new year, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna bow out if that's okay.
Okay, cool.
And Casey, it's always good to see you.
You're welcome to grab some pizza, grab some cookies.
All right, thank you though, appreciate it. Thank you.
We can start the meeting if you want. You got a forum, it's almost 6:30.
Okay, it wasn't 7 o'clock that it was advertised?
No,
6:30.
Okay.
6:30.
Perfect.
I misspoke just because I'm used to 7 o'clock
Okay.
being the
Yeah, I
start
thought-
time. I said 7, but I meant 6:30. You have a half hour. We have
Good.
used up our half hour.
Let's do it. Okay, have we adjourned the work session?
I can do it if we're done. Are we
Yeah,
done?
you may.
Work session is adjourned.
Thank you.
I have 10 minutes.
All right. Yeah.
Thanks, appreciate it. Yeah, I do.
Having adjourned the work session, we'll now begin with item 5, approval of the September 10, 2020 minutes, which is the last time the Building and Standards Committee met. Is there a motion by the board to approve?
Yeah, motion to approve?
Is there a second?
A second?
All right. All those in favor say yay.
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 All opposed say nay. All right. The minutes from 2020 are approved. Okay, the next item on the agenda is substandard structure at 551 Arbor Brook Lane. The item on the agenda actually is to determine whether the building or structure at 551 Arbor Brook Lane, North Lake Woodlands, 3rd Section, Rep. Block 6, Lot 3A, complies with the standards outlined in Article 15-14, Chapter 15 of the City of Coppell Code of Ordinance and Remedies suggested herewith in. Mr. Sherbert, would you like to present the case?
Absolutely. Good evening, Commission. My name is Steve Schubert. I'm the building official for the City of Coppell. Tonight we're meeting in regards to the structure at 551 Arbor Brook Lane in Coppell. Subject property is in a SF12 zoning district. It is sandwiched between 547 and 555 Arbor Brook Lane. The back of the property primarily shares a lot line with 320 Meadow Creek Road and slightly with 316 Meadow Creek Road. Back in September of 2021, a building permit was issued for this property. It was a single-family dwelling, matches the zoning district. Permit was applied for on September 8th, and it was issued on September 24th. The last inspection for the framing work performed on this property was requested on July 12th of 2022, was failed on July 14th of 2022. Since that date, there has not been any visible progress on the construction site. It still, to this day, sits in a framed status with plywood exterior, OSB decking on the roof, and it is not dried in, not protected from the elements. We have been in communication with Mr. Benitez, the applicant, on multiple occasions, trying to forewarn him of the potential issues with the permit going into an expired status. Because there were no progress on the construction site, in May 19th of 2023, I emailed the permit holder letting him know that the project is set to expire on July 17th of 2023. No extensions may be granted due to the lack of progress on the project and the dilapidated condition of the non-weather rated building materials that have been exposed to the elements for an extended amount of time. Please resolve the dilapidated condition of the structure prior to the expiration of the building permit to avoid penalties. Underneath the building codes, I can grant extensions of up to 180 days per extension. Permit is only good for 180 days. Anytime there's an inspection, pass or fail, it extends for another 180 days. Under these circumstances, it was going to expire due to no change on the site, and I could not grant an extension because there had not been any changes on site. There was no progress. So I was informing the applicant and the permit holder that I could not provide them another 180 days. Mr. Benitez responded that he understood. Then on June 17th of 2023 at 12:05 a.m., our city's permitting system automatically sent him an email, yet again, warning him that the permit was going to expire on July 17th. Unfortunately, no actions were taken by the permit holder. We did continue to communicate with him, both building inspections and code compliance. The permit holder did state that he was looking at different options on trying to get the property into compliance. Unfortunately, nothing had come as of the date that we filed for this board to meet regarding the property. Here I have the references for the building codes. Underneath the 2015 International Residential Building Code, section R105.5, permit expires after 150 or 180 days. Then for the 2015 International Property Maintenance Code, as adopted by the City of Coppell, an urban nuisance, a premises or structure that is dilapidated, substandard, or unfit for human habitation, and a hazard to the public health, safety, and welfare, regardless of its structural condition, is unoccupied by its owner, lessees, or other invitees, and is unsecured from unauthorized entry to the extent that it could be entered or used by vagrants or other uninvited persons as a place of harborage, or could be entered or used by children, or boarded up, fenced, or otherwise secured in a manner if the structure constitutes a danger to the public, even though secured from entry or the means used to secure the structure are inadequate to prevent unauthorized entry or use of the structure. We also have other sections of the International Property Maintenance Code identifying that is the responsibility of the property holder to maintain property. Section 301.3 for vacant structures and land, and Section 302.12, which states that all properties shall be maintained free of any nuisances. And Section 304.1, general requirement for the exterior of a structure to be maintained in good repair and structurally sound and sanitary so as not to pose a threat to the public health, safety, or welfare. Back in September of last year, or sorry, May of last year, one of the building inspectors did make a site visit, and he took pictures of the property as it stood at that time when we were warning the permit holder that his permit was going to expire in July. These were taken from the street. The permit at this point was still issued, and we utilized our authority as the city officials to enter a property underneath a benefit of permit. You can see the chain link fence that does protect the property. Chain link fence is prohibited. We are not allowed to have properties with chain link fences, but so long as it is a construction fence and it is around a construction project, we allow it while the permit is issued. And here, even May of last year, you can see that, May of this year, you can see that the building exterior is already discolored. The wood is no longer in good condition. You can see where the wood for the roof here is curling because of the exposure to the moisture. It is all discolored. More discoloration, curling, separation. All the way down along the side. All up through here, curling and separation. These are from December 12th, 2023. Our awesome code enforcement department was kind enough to procure us a warrant to enter the property so that we could ascertain the specific conditions of the property at this time. And as of December 12th at 2:44 p.m., you can see all the supports for the roof are discolored, which means that they no longer meet standards for construction. Interior of the exterior walls, interior of exterior walls, all of it is discolored and starting to rot. All throughout the home, no matter where we went, every single area, all has heavily discolored and unsafe members. We even have sections here that are starting to grow mold and mildew. Right in through here, there's mold and mildew growing up underneath the overhangs. And these are carrying active loads. The entire load of the roof is sitting on it. All through here, discoloration and mold and mildew. These are from the rear of the home. You can see there's still mounds of trash there. And again, exterior materials, these are not listed for direct exposure to the elements, are still exposed to the elements. They are failing. They are discolored, and they no longer meet the standards of construction. Here's more mildew growing through here. So with the building no longer meeting standards, there is a fence around it, but that fence is not a definitive barrier to the general public. We have had people as recent as this past Sunday trespassing on the property. The police were called, a couple teenage kids in there. The structure, in my opinion, or not in my opinion, but according to the building codes that are in place, is no longer 100% safe. It is not. There is definitive failures of the wood material and the growth of mold and mildew that are compromising a structure that is accessible to the public. Due to that, we are seeking a demolition order from the board to be issued to the owner of said property for all structures and foundations and non-compliant fence to include terminating the water service and sewer in the city's right-of-way in a manner compliant with the applicable building codes. This order is to be executed no later than 90 days after the date of signing by the board, which would put it around March 13th of 2024. The city is also seeking permission to obtain pricing for the demolition of the structure and removal of the illegal fence on the above stated property. Should the property owners fail to demolish the structure by the prescribed date outlined in the order, the city would then execute the demolition order at the city's expense. The city is also seeking permission to utilize the city's attorney to pursue a demolition order for the aforementioned structure and fence at said property and to place a lien on the property for reimbursement of the costs incurred by the city for the said demolition. And aside from that, the only thing I've got is the permit history. It's multiple pages of, this on this date. If you guys want to go through that, I will scroll through it, but it's, in my opinion, it's kind of useless at this point.
It's lengthy.
Yes.
So has does anyone have any questions for Steve? I do. So has Homes Builders taken ownership of this?
At this time, that is not reflected in public records. We have been contacted by Homes Builders yesterday informing us that they have intent to purchase the property. And our stance is, regardless of who owns the property, we're giving them 90 days to get this resolved and get it cleaned up. If it is Homes Builders that does it or anyone else who does it, that is fantastic. We will support them, helping them out in getting the demolition permit and everything else set up. We aren't picky about whom it is that carries out the order so long as it is done in the next 90 days.
So their statement of saying they plan on blah, 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 blah. So regarding the statement they plan on demolition within the next 45 days has no bearing on the decision there.
No, because that would actually fall within the window. That is fantastic, but we need a definitive timeline of should somebody not follow through with X, Y, or Z, that there is a definitive end to it all, and that way we can ensure the public safety.
Madam Chairman, if I might, for the record, Steve's presentation, I'll mark it City's Exhibit A and ask that you admit that presentation is evidence of the status of the property and Mr. Schubert's request for the demolition.
It's accepted as Exhibit A. Steve's presentation is.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions for Steve Schubert? So, my question is, this is a public hearing. Is there anybody here who would like to be sworn in to provide testimony? I understand we have one person here that has registered, John Smith? John Smith?
I've been called for. It's John. There's just no H in it.
Okay. Would you like to come forward and be sworn in?
It's not necessary. I agree with everything Mr. Schubert said.
Okay, so my understanding then is that you don't wish to testify, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else here who's present who would like to testify as to this matter? Seeing and hearing no one, okay. We'll move on.
Madam Chairman, what I would ask for you to do is consider a motion to approve an order to order the demolition of the building structure at this address on Arbor Brook, that all construction and demolition materials be removed, removal of all security fencing, removal of all construction activity, tools, vehicles, and related trash and debris within 90 calendar days after execution of the order. And I will prepare that order if the commission votes to grant that order. Thank you.
Thank you. So who would like to move that I guess Bob made that motion?
Yeah, I entertain you to consider that motion, so someone would need to make the motion and second.
Can we make the motion to accept as specified what you said?
Yes. Do I hear a second?
A second.
Yes. All those in agreement with that motion, say yay. Yay.
Yay.
All those opposed, say nay. All right, motion carries. Will you please prepare the order?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, our next item of business is item 7 on the agenda to determine whether the building or structure located at 308 Park View Place, Park Meadows, Section 1, Block 1, Lot 3, complies with the standards outlined in Article 15-14, Chapter 15 of the City of Coppell Code of Ordinance and remedies suggested herein. Mr. Steve Schubert, would you like to present the case?
Absolutely. As you can see here on the front page, the property in question is third structure on the left once you enter the neighborhood on Parkview Place. This hearing is regarding the dilapidated, uninhabitable structure located on the property addressed as 308 Parkview Place in the city of Coppell. It has not been maintained and has been allowed to become substandard in violation of the City Coppell Ordinance Article 15-4, adopting the 2015 International Property Maintenance Code and amending portions therein. The house is a 2,932 square foot single-family residence in a single-family zoned neighborhood. Back of the property is adjacent to the south spillway from the Andrew Brown Jr. Community Park. Primary structure was constructed in 1986, and the applicant purchased the property on or around February 3rd, 2004. Code compliance has been inspecting this property between July 19th, 2022 and October 17th, 2023. Property appeared to violate numerous codes from the adopted 2015 International Property Maintenance Code, including but not limited to dead trees and shrubs blocking the path of egress to the front door. And just in case you're unaware, the front door of a residence is the required egress out of that residence. Then you'll also have one window per bedroom that is required egress. So all of those at all times are supposed to be clear of anything. There are also large cracks on the exterior of the brick. There is damage to the roof, including visible holes, leaks in the roof and skylight. There are window frame gapping, signs of foundation issues, failing second-story balcony, interior cracks found in sheetrock and walls, which are also signs of foundation issues, flaking exterior paint, vacant and abandoned structure caused blight problems for the neighborhood, and rotting eaves, fascia, door frames, and sidings. And all on to the left is the code sections that those are violations of. These pictures are from our code enforcement team. You can see on the top picture that it includes the vegetation that is dead and overgrown. The bottom left photo contains the rotting fascia. The middle bottom picture includes a tree branch that has fallen, and the bottom right photo is the overgrown vegetation blocking the front door. Top left photo here shows that someone did come through and try to patch the brick, most likely just a cosmetic patch. It being a single-family dwelling, that's fine. Realistically speaking, if it was a commercial property, the brick and mortar would have to be removed to be repaired properly. Simply patching it is insufficient, but with it being a single-family dwelling, we're not going to get into minutia on that. Top right photo includes overgrown vegetation. Bottom left photo shows missing soffit, and again, the tree branch blocking the gate to the backyard. In this photo, you can see the bottom left one and the bottom right one are both the same patch of ceiling where roof leak has finally gotten to the point where the sheetrock is failing. Here are some more photos, top left showing water damage, top right showing cracks, which are indicative of the foundation issues, bottom left indicative foundation issues, bottom right shows you can see daylight around an exterior door showing that it is no longer sealed against the elements. Any cold wind, rain, anything like that is able to pass through that door. Top left and top right, both of them, holes in the ceilings due to water damage from the roof. Bottom left and bottom right are the second floor balcony, where you can see that entire sections of the support beams that it holds it up are missing. They have rotted away completely. Top left shows where a tree branch has been rubbing against the edge of the roof. It has worn its way through the soffit and through the roof. Top right shows that the door casing is completely rotted through down at the bottom. Bottom left is another section of soffit missing. Bottom right is parts of the exterior peeling off. Top left shows bottom of door casing rotted through. Top right shows where someone taped up plastic underneath the skylight to try and catch water as it leaked, effectively creating a bucket. Bottom left is missing spanners from the protective railing for the second floor balcony. Bottom right is additional portions of the soffit that are missing. And this is the history from our code enforcement team. Contact was made with the property owner, Sybil Wilkes, repeatedly between 7/23/2022, 12/14/2023 via emails, phone calls, municipal court hearings, notices referencing the property conditions and violations 308 Parkview Place. They continue to communicate with Ms. Wilkes over multiple occasions. Unfortunately, there were some health concerns, things that did cause some delays in response. Ultimately, on 4/5/23, a notice that ordered the repair of the demolition at 308 Parkview Place was sent first-class mail and certified mail to the property owner. Also, a copy of the notice was posted on site. That notice informed the city's intent to file the case with the Building and Standards Commission if improvements were not made to the property. That was back in April 5th of this year. On 4/13, dead trees and shrubs from the property were cleaned up, and additionally, the property owner provided documentation that contractors were scheduled to repair the cracks in the exterior brick wall, which was performed. On July 13th of 2023, property owner paid in full for the pending citations with the municipal court system. October 12th, property owner provided a screenshot of insurance claim for the roof that was filed on May of 2023. In October, Ms. Wilkes considered to allow code compliance officers to inspect the interior and exterior of the property thoroughly to document all code violations. The exterior crack in the bricks were all repaired. Then follow through to November, Building and Standards Commission hearing notification was sent on all recorded property owners and lien holders. On December 4th, repairs were started on the roof, balcony, fascia, and eaves. Realistically speaking, the property has two issued permits. One is for the roof, one is for the foundation repair. Under normal circumstances, any additional fascia, the balcony, things of that nature would not be part of a roofing permit. It's not a roof. Balcony is a balcony, soffits and fascia are soffits and fascia. In consideration of the issues that this homeowner has had between health and everything else, and the steps to which our code enforcement team has gone to try and work with our customer and our resident in order to get this resolved, we have allowed the additional scopes of work to be included underneath the roofing permit, so that way there's not any additional fees. We're not waiting on yet a third party or a fourth party to come through and do another scope of work. She's got one company doing the roof, the balcony, and the soffits and all that, and another company coming through doing the foundation. So as of December 12, 2023, the roof, the balcony, and fascia and eaves were repaired. At this time, we're pending foundation repairs, the painting of the eaves and fascia, remove a large fallen tree branch from the rear of the property, and removing discarded construction materials. Realistically speaking, once the foundation is repaired, there is going to be a settling period where that structure is going to settle and flex because it has now been adjusted and shifted. A lot of the brick repairs are, are no longer going to be repaired. Some of those patches are going to crack because the structure is being pushed back to where it used to be. So some of these cracks will come back up, and there will be additional repairs that will have to be done both on the interior and the exterior to resolve the cracks and gaps that form after the foundation has been corrected. Here's pictures from December 12th showing the back balcony. It is greenwood. It is listed for that use. Some of the soffits still need to be painted and touched up, but they have patched it. So the homeowner is actively working on getting these things resolved and getting these things issued. The city is seeking an order from the board to issue to the owner of said property to repair the structure at 308 Parkview Place in a manner compliant with applicable building codes. These repairs are to be completed under the required permits and inspections and approved by the city no later than the 90th day after the date of signing by the board. And the reason that we are asking this is, albeit the property owner is now working on getting these things resolved, it took this order to get those final issues resolved. We're just providing a definitive timeline for when they have to get it complete. City is also seeking permission to charge a fee of $100 per day per existing violation that the violations are not corrected beginning the 91st day after the date this order is signed by the board, and to continue until the relevant violation is resolved. And that would be on or around March 13th of 2024. This issue did begin in August of 2022. It is now December of 2023. As such, the city lacks confidence in all issues with the structure being repaired in that timeline.
Thank you, Steve. Desiree Vuhlman, are you present? Would you also like to present the case?
I'm here for any questions that you all have. I am the code compliance officer with the city.
Does anyone have any questions for Steve or Desiree?
Could I maybe go back? There was a slide of pending repairs. Sorry for the feedback on the microphone. It was just a few slides ago, sorry. There we go. Thank you. So the pending repairs, it's stated in there that the roof, balcony, exterior brick wall, fascia, and eaves have all been repaired. These are the pending repairs that are not yet complete, correct?
Correct.
So, foundation, painting of eaves, removing a fallen tree, removing discarded construction materials. Okay. Sorry, that one went by, and I just wanted to make sure what was still, because this is what we're talking about needs to be complete prior to the 90 days.
Right, because with the fascia and everything else, part of the painting process is sealing around it. So you have two different pieces of fascia put together. If there's not a bead of caulk or something between there, you still get moisture migrating through there, and you're rotting out everything that is attached to. Not only that, but we also have those rooms where the ceiling has been compromised. Nobody has been able to make an assessment of the structural members in the attic, so we have no idea what the integrity of the attic members are, whether or not they've been compromised by the roof leak.
But that's not included in this order after 90 days?
No, it is not,
Okay.
because we cannot avow to the integrity of the structural members. So because I cannot say definitively whether or not they're fine or whether or not they're damaged, they were left out.
Gotcha. Apologies. Just wanted to make sure what the order was inclusive of. Thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions for Steve or Desiree? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on and ask if the applicant is here to present the case. My understanding is Sybil Wilkes is present along with her attorney Myra Homayan. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
I'm Myra, but I represent JP Morgan Chase,
Okay,
who has an interest in the property.
okay, is Sybil here? Yes, ma'am. If you would both step forward, I'd like to swear you in. Do you swear and affirm to tell, both of you? Yes, do you swear to tell the truth, swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so which one of you would like to go first? Sybil?
Thank you for hearing me tonight. I am Sybil Wilkes and have owned this home since 2004, as noted. I am, and if you're not hearing me, excuse the mask. I have, part of my health concern was long COVID. So I I want to protect people, even though I just got another shot, but I just want to be mindful of that. I did vacate my home as I was going through COVID treatment and living with friends in Fort Worth. And so I did leave the home, and unfortunately it was in bad repair at the time and not able to do a lot of the work. A part of it is financial. Not only was I affected physically by COVID, but like many people, I lost my job during the pandemic. The long-term job that I had came to an end, and I got another job, and then 4 months later, as with many people, I lost my job. And so in trying to work to do a lot of things, I've been very unsuccessful. And the money that I was making before, not equal to what I'm making now. And as a result, having a difficult time also in getting people to take care of some of the problems in the building itself, in my home. We often tell stories or hear stories about people who will engage people to do work in their houses, and then they disappear with a certain amount of money that you may have put as a down payment, and that has been my unfortunate circumstance. So as I was working and trying to get all these things done, I was losing contact with people who promised to do the work. Well, I have succeeded in getting people who are trustworthy and who are willing to do the work for me. As you see, I did get a new roof. They did do a lot of the work on the trim, the eaves, as you noticed, as well as the balcony. I had initially, when the problem was with the brick on the exterior of the building, I had someone come and fill that. And before I could even turn around, the cracks reappeared. The crack, I should say, reappeared. And so I was told that I need to get foundation repair, and so now I have engaged someone to do that, and he is scheduled to begin, and I believe he has already filed for the city negotiation, for the city repairs, to begin December 22nd, a week from tomorrow, which should take a few days, if that, to get the piers in place and do all the work that entails. And then, as you mentioned, sir, it will take a time, as I was told by the ladies of code enforcement, that it will take a time for the house to settle and to do all of these things. So I am in the process of completing that, as well as engaging someone to do the painting on the interior as well as the exterior. And I can't think, I have a little bit of a brain fog sometimes, so I think that is everything that I should be addressing. And I do thank you for your patience in dealing with this. This is my home, and I'm very sorry that it has gotten to this state. This is not indicative of who I am, and this was not my intention to just let things fall into such disrepair. And I am, as I've indicated with Desiree and others who have been very, very diligent in dealing with me, that I am going to make good on this and put the house back as it should be. And then hopefully I'll be able to sell it and get out of your hair. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Myra, and I represent JP Morgan Chase. JP Morgan has an interest in this property, and with that being said, we just ask that Ms. Wilkes be given time to make the repairs. It looks like she's making changes and doing what's necessary to get the property up to compliance. So I'm just going to keep it short and brief, and that's all I have for you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Madam Chairman and board members, on behalf of the city, I think Steve read off what the request is, but I'll try to synopsize what I'm asking you to do. I would consider a motion to approve an order for 308 Creekview, Coppell, Texas, to order the repair of the following elements of the main structure, being the residential structure at said address on or before March 14th, 2024. To wit, 1, the foundation be repaired, acceptable, and all these will be in compliance with the property maintenance code or the residential property code, which govern the structure that we're here about today. That the foundation be repaired, and that that we have a report from a structural engineer that the foundation and the walls of the building are safe. 2, that she be given that time to repair both the interior and exterior of the walls cosmetically and structurally. That the soffits and the fascia and the outside be painted in order to protect the wood elements on the trim. Removal of all brush and dead landscaping. That the windows and door gaps be secured in accordance with the building standards of the property maintenance code and the residential building code in order to protect the integrity, to keep the elements out of the house, and to prohibit the deterioration of both the interior and the exterior wood elements. And that a $100 a day fine be imposed, and that if the repairs are not made or substantial progress towards those repairs made, that you order the demolition, and that on March 14th, a show cause hearing be ordered for the property owner to come back to make sure that there is substantial progress being made. I want to reiterate, while I asked for the penalty and I asked for the demolition, the idea is that we will not have to, it will either request that the show cause not take place, or if we're not getting substantial progress, that it do take place and impose the penalty at that time. Thank you. And I'll prepare the order in the event that this passes. Thank you.
Thank you. Prior to our considering and voting on the proposed order, this is a public hearing, and I would like to ask if anyone's present who would like to be sworn in and provide testimony, other than Ms. Wilkes and the attorney for J.P. Morgan Chase. Would anyone else here present like to provide?
Just so the record, I said Creekview, I meant Parkview.
Thank you.
Sorry. Different problem.
Anybody? Okay, thank you. Hearing no one, I would like to put up for a vote the proposed motion for the order as described by the city attorney, Mr. Hager. All those in favor say yay. Yay. All opposed say nay. Hearing none, we have approved the proposed order and we'll sign it when it's prepared. I don't believe there's any more business for the board this evening, and hearing there's no further business. Before the Building and Standards Commission, I adjourn the meeting. The time is 7:08.